Have you ever found yourself pondering the afterlife, wondering what lies beyond this life? The Bible, one of the most influential texts in human history, offers vivid descriptions of heaven and hell, painting them as the ultimate destinations of reward and punishment. But when we delve deeper, the narrative isn't as straightforward as it seems. Conflicting interpretations and vague descriptions have led many to question: do these places exist as described, or are they metaphors lost in translation? In this video, we're peeling back the layers of traditional narratives to explore the controversies surrounding heaven and hell as depicted in the Bible. We'll navigate through the counter-arguments, compare beliefs from various religions, and even take a glance at what science has to say about the concept of an afterlife. Join us on this thought-provoking journey as we challenge the conventional, search for clarity, and uncover the complexities behind the concepts of heaven and hell. Stay tuned and prepare to question everything you thought you knew about the afterlife. The Bible, with its rich tapestry of narratives, parables, and teachings, has been a cornerstone for understanding the concepts of heaven and hell for centuries. But as we dive into its texts, we uncover a realm of interpretations that sometimes raise more questions than answers. Heaven, as described in the Bible, is often seen as a place of eternal peace and the presence of God. Revelations 21:4 paints a picture of a place where He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. Yet, the imagery of streets of gold and pearly gates raises questions about the literal versus metaphorical interpretation of these descriptions. Hell, on the other hand, is depicted as a place of eternal punishment. Mark 9:43 refers to it as where the fire never goes out, a place of weeping and gnashing of teeth. But scholars debate the concept of hell as a place of eternal torment, pointing to translations and interpretations that have evolved over time. The diversity in biblical interpretations stems from various factors: the translation from ancient texts, the context in which these descriptions were written, and the cultural lens through which we understand them today. This has led to a broad spectrum of beliefs within Christianity itself, from those who interpret these descriptions literally to others who see them as symbolic, meant to convey moral and spiritual lessons rather than physical realities. As we explore these heavenly and hellish descriptions, we find ourselves navigating a complex landscape of faith, interpretation, and mystery. The questions arise: are these places real in the physical sense, or are they states of being? And how do these interpretations affect our understanding of morality, justice, and the afterlife? In this journey through biblical narratives, we are challenged to think critically about the text, the context, and the myriad ways in which these ancient descriptions resonate with us today. The biblical depictions of heaven and hell have not only fascinated, but also perplexed believers and skeptics alike. As we scrutinize these concepts more closely, a range of counter-arguments and criticisms emerge, challenging traditional interpretations and urging us to think more deeply about these eternal destinies. The problem of eternal punishment. One of the most significant criticisms is the ethical dilemma posed by hell. The concept of eternal punishment for the finite sins of a human lifetime strikes many as inherently unjust. Philosophers and theologians alike question how a loving and merciful God could condemn individuals to endless torment, sparking debates on the nature of divine justice and mercy. Critics also point to the potential danger of interpreting biblical descriptions of heaven and hell too literally. They argue that such texts were never meant to provide detailed maps of the afterlife, but rather to offer moral guidance and spiritual insight. By taking metaphorical language as literal truth, we risk missing the deeper, symbolic meanings intended by the authors. Another critical perspective highlights how the concepts of heaven and hell have evolved over time. Scholars note that earlier Jewish texts offer a different view of the afterlife, with little emphasis on eternal punishment or reward. It suggests that the vivid depictions of heaven and hell found in later Christian texts may be influenced by cultural, philosophical, and religious developments rather than being core tenets of biblical faith from the start. Criticisms. From a comparative religion standpoint, critics observe that other faith traditions offer vastly different visions of the afterlife, some more forgiving, others reincarnation-based. This diversity raises questions about the universality of the heaven and hell concept and suggests that our understanding of the afterlife is deeply colored by cultural and religious backgrounds. In confronting these counterarguments and criticisms, we are invited to explore beyond the surface of biblical texts, questioning and seeking deeper understanding. Whether these explorations lead us to reaffirm our beliefs, revise them, or adopt entirely new perspectives, the journey itself enriches our spiritual and philosophical quests. The concepts of heaven and hell, as profound as they are in the Christian faith, find both similarities and stark contrasts in other religious traditions. By exploring these diverse perspectives, we gain insight into the universal human quest to understand what lies beyond this life. In Islam, heaven, Jannah, and hell, Jahannam, are also central to the afterlife. Jannah is depicted as a place of incredible beauty and bliss, reserved for those who have believed in Allah and led righteous lives. Jahannam, on the other hand, is a place of punishment for those who have denied Allah and led sinful lives. The Quran provides detailed descriptions of both, emphasizing the eternal nature of the afterlife. Contrary to the eternal paradigms of heaven and hell, Hinduism introduces the concept of reincarnation. The afterlife is not a final destination, but a stop in a cycle of rebirths where one's actions, karma, in past lives dictate their next incarnation. Moksha, or liberation from the cycle of rebirth, represents the ultimate goal, akin to reaching a state beyond heaven and hell. Similar to Hinduism, Buddhism focuses on the cycle of rebirth, samsara, but places greater emphasis on achieving nirvana, a state of liberation and freedom from suffering. While there are descriptions of heavens and hells in Buddhist texts, they are seen as temporary states that souls may pass through on their journey towards enlightenment. Jewish views on the afterlife are diverse and often less focused on heaven and hell. Concepts like Sheol, a place of darkness where the dead go, and Gehenna, a place of purification and temporary punishment, reflect a more nuanced understanding of the afterlife. The emphasis is more on living a righteous life in accordance with God's commandments than on the afterlife. These varied perspectives invite us to consider the afterlife not as a one-size-fits-all destination, but as a concept interpreted through the lens of cultural, historical, and religious contexts. They challenge us to broaden our understanding and appreciate the diversity of human belief regarding what comes after death. In our journey through the diverse landscapes of heaven and hell, religion and philosophy have offered us myriad interpretations. Yet, in the quest for understanding, science too plays a pivotal role, offering insights that challenge and complement traditional beliefs. Modern neuroscience grapples with the concept of consciousness, its ties to the physical brain, and what happens when we die. While the scientific community largely views consciousness as a product of brain activity, questions remain about the continuation of consciousness after death. Near-death experiences, reported by some as glimpses into an afterlife, present both fascinating anecdotes and scientific puzzles. Researchers study these experiences to understand whether they stem from physiological changes in the brain at the moment of death or if they indeed offer evidence of something beyond. Science thrives on empirical evidence and reproducibility, making the afterlife a challenging subject to tackle. The experiences and phenomena often associated with heaven and hell, out-of-body experiences, visions of otherworldly realms, are deeply personal and, by their nature, resist empirical study. This has led to a scientific approach that is more agnostic about the existence of an afterlife, focusing instead on explaining the physiological and psychological foundations of such experiences. Interestingly, some scientists and thinkers propose that science and spirituality need not be at odds when it comes to the afterlife. Quantum theories and the study of consciousness are exploring realms that seem to bridge material and immaterial worlds. These discussions open doors to new ways of thinking about existence, the universe, and the potential for life beyond death, though they remain speculative and far from conclusive. In the dialogue between science and the afterlife, we find not definitive answers, but a reflection of our own curiosity and the limitations of our understanding. Science challenges us to question, to explore, and to remain open to the mysteries that lie beyond the reaches of our current knowledge. It reminds us that the journey of understanding the afterlife is as much about the questions we ask as it is about the answers we may or may not find. As we conclude our journey through the intricate narratives of heaven and hell, it's clear that these concepts transcend simple definitions or explanations. From the biblical depictions that have shaped centuries of belief, through the critical lenses that challenge and question, to the diverse interpretations across world religions and the curious gaze of science, we find a tapestry of human thought and curiosity. A reflection on diversity and belief. This exploration has revealed not just the variety of beliefs about the afterlife, but also the depth of our quest for understanding what lies beyond. The controversies, interpretations, and scientific inquiries all reflect our innate desire to make sense of existence and our place in the universe. Encouraging dialogue and exploration. Rather than providing definitive answers, our discussion opens the door for further reflection and dialogue. The diversity of views on heaven and hell encourages us to think critically about our own beliefs and to engage with others' perspectives with openness and respect. As we navigate through life, the questions surrounding heaven and hell remain among the most profound. They challenge us to consider not only the mysteries of the afterlife, but also how we live our lives here and now. In the end, the journey of exploration and understanding is as personal as it is universal. We invite you to share your thoughts and perspectives in the comments below. What do you think about the interpretations of heaven and hell we've explored today? Do you lean towards a particular belief, or do you find yourself pondering the possibilities? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more thought-provoking discussions. Your engagement helps us continue these important conversations and explore the questions that move us all. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Until next time, keep questioning, keep seeking, and perhaps, most importantly, keep the conversation going.